Well, hello YouTubers. I'm here to talk a little bit about my dreadlocks. Pretty much, you can see I've got 75 of them. They're thick, they're strong, they're healthy, they're beautiful. I've had them since 2012, 4 years. I've been maintaining them through the beauty salon stores and on my own. And I want to talk about my little journey on how I got to figure out how to keep these things maintained. So pretty much I was going to the hair salon, spending anywhere from like $50 to $75 so that a hairdresser can put some mousse and gel onto my dread and just palm roll them like this. And then she would attach this little metal hair clip thing like this. And she'd do that to all 75 of my dreadlocks. I'd sit under a hair dryer. She'd take the clippers off. I'd go home, I'd go to sleep, and I'd wake up the next morning with every single one of my dreadlocks unraveled as if I never went to the salon. So I started to get on YouTube and I was searching for ways to maintain my dreadlocks on my own. So I saw several tutorials. One of the tutorials that I watched, or several of them, was using the crochet hook to grasp the new growth and lock it right back into the dreadlock. That was so tiresome and my arms hurt and I was like, ugh, I don't like this at all. And the crochet hook wasn't hooking before it would come through, and I was ripping a part of the dread that was already dreaded nicely. And I said, oh geez, I can't keep on doing this to this hair. Another way that I learned was just to let the hair grow naturally. Don't do nothing to it. Let the hair grow, let it lock on its own, and it'll take its form. But I am a Latina, and I don't have very kink hair, and I don't have very thin hair, but I have that soft, textured Latina curly hair. And my new growth wasn't just naturally locking into the lock, and the twists weren't working because my hair was not thick enough to twist and lock and hold. So I started looking for products to hand roll, and I have a couple things that I like to use. I like to use jam. I'm from the Bronx. This is the black girls from the group home introduced me to jam when I was in the group home, and I used to push my hair back in a ponytail really, really tight like this and put these baby hairs out with jam. So I love jam. Jam really works good for hand rolling, and it smells good. It works really good for palm rolling hair. It holds. It takes a good hold. Another thing I found, this is local. This is patchouli hand and body butter. The consistency is like shea butter. Essentially, it is shea butter with a couple drops of patchouli oil in it. So if you don't like scents, I like scents. I like to smell like sweat and patchouli. But if you don't like scents, simple shea butter will work. But this essentially, like I said, is shea butter with a couple drops of patchouli oil. If you don't do scents, oh shit. If you don't do scents, I'm back. And yes, I do have on a bra. If you don't do scents, then fuck it. You know, just use the shea butter plain, which works just as good. Lastly, a little expensive, probably like, I think it was like $15. This is the Paul Mitchell Firm Style Dry Wax. This shit, my friends, works super duper good for dreadlocks because it's a dry wax and it holds that twist and it keeps it there nice. So I also like using this. And this doesn't have too much of an odor. I think I stole this one. I didn't even pay for this shit. But anyway, I haven't even used it yet. But yeah, so that works really good too. So palm rolling was working for a little while, maybe with these supplies, and maybe my hair was now being held for a good week, and I was good with that. I'm like, yeah, my dreadlocks is being held and whatnot. But boom, after a week, once again, I got all this new growth popping out. So I said, you know what? I don't like the crochet hook. I don't like spending all this money for these girls to just palm roll my hair and then in a day it's unraveling. So I found out something, and a lot of you probably do this, but it's an epiphany for me because I just found this out for myself. Pretty much finger lock your dread into the dreadlock. You have better control. I think it also makes for less dread damage because the hook is like ripping on your dread or making holes in your dread, or it's just and like I said, it's tiresome and my arms were hurting and everything, and I'm like, oh, I can't do this. So I figured out a way. So you see, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your new growth. I got new growth everywhere. I mean, all in the back, everywhere. You can't really tell because usually I'll take like some mousse and I'll just pat it down, but it's getting to the point where that's not working anymore. Not to mention, I think that these grays have to get dyed soon enough. But anyway, back to the finger locking the new growth into the dread. I hope you guys can see this. So here's my new growth right here. I got a lot of it, like I said. But let's start with this piece right here. You're going to try to find the dread that is its home. Like, which dread is it closest to? Nah, not this one, because this one is a little too far back. And not this one, because this one is a little too far forward. No, not that. This one right here. There's two ways that you can do it. So here's the new growth and here's the dread that it belongs in. One way you could do it is you could take the new growth and you could wrap it around the bottom of the dread like this. That's one way. Just wrap it around. But I find that even this way unravels too. So you're gonna wrap it all the way around the dreadlock. Wrap it around that new growth that's coming from your root. Wrap the dreadlock, the new growth, wrap it around the new growth of the dread. So this way you're kind of enveloping that new growth. Then you're going to take whatever product you choose. I'm excessive, so I take a nice, sorry guys, a nice gunk. There's that dread. So there's that dread with the new growth that I wrapped around the new growth of from the root of the dread. And then you're gonna do the palm roll. And boom. That's one way to do it. But that's not the most effective way for me to keep that dreaded and tight. So you got that way. This is the way that I found that I like to do it. So I've got my new growth. I braided this little piece of hair right here because it was driving me crazy. But it is new growth. So here we got this new growth right here. And I'm going to put it in. And here's a little more new growth. So can I grab? No, I'm not going to grab it with that. That belongs to another dread. I'm going to say that this, yes, this new growth belongs in this dread. And you'll see what I mean when I say which dread it belongs to, because the new growth will feel too far. It just is going to be too much work to try to get it in. It should just feel natural and be right. So now with the new growth here, you're going to, where you have the new growth from the dread, you got like, you can stick your finger through there, right through here. Stick your finger through that new growth of that dread. You see it? And you're gonna, with your fingers, you're gonna grab the new growth and pull it through. There you go. So it's through. Wrap it around, stick your finger through again, grab the new growth and pull it through. There we go. Once again, and continue to do that until the entire loose hair is incorporated into the dreadlock. Now, once that new growth, see that piece that was sticking up, it's now interlocked in the new growth part of the dread. So I got it in there. Now I'm going to take my shea butter. I got that new growth there. And now once the hair is all interlocked within the part of the dread, the root of the new growth, you're gonna, with the loose hair in it, you're gonna now do your palm roll. So now you're not just palm rolling the loose hairs around the dread, it's interlocked in there. And you're going to now palm roll it. And you're going to do this with each and every individual dread. And yes, it is tiresome. And yes, you might want to have a little glass of Hennessy or a tea or a beer or a joint or a cigarette or just some music, whatever floats your boat. And it can become real meditative. So once you really get into like locking your dreads, if you take yourself there, it becomes very meditative. Thanks for watching. Now I gotta find a way to clear these zits. Thank you.